So, some of you know me as Home. Some of you might know me as Himalaya. Some of you might know me as Home. And some still think I'm a player. The new ones call me Hope. The ones that know I'm for real. The rhymes are in your mind as you hear. More importantly, you feel. This is a different kind of poetry than you're used to. Consider yourself spoiled. Before I came through. So your attention goes left and right, up and down, all over the place. Especially when you're in public and maybe when you have the camera on, sharing your true self, being vulnerable, naked, the real you, and you need help. Let me.
Then said he to another, And how much owest thou? And he said, 100 measures of wheat. And he said unto him, Take thy bill, and write 80. And the Lord commended the unjust steward, because he had done wisely. For the children of this world.
So I'm going to lower the frequency a bit while I'm preaching here. And perhaps this will help. Like this. Boom, boom. That's good. So, where do I begin? Today, I almost killed a man. I almost caused a sin. It was on the orange line. And I'm so glad I made it back in time. I was under attack. You see, let me back it up a bit to tell you who I am. So, at the age of around 15, maybe 16, I had this experience where a friend of mine was getting beat up. And I look around and I see everybody else ran away. All of our friends, our team ran away. I was the only one who stayed behind and dove in. I jumped in to join, to stop it. And of course, they were bigger and stronger and meaner. And they did some damage to me. And the biggest damage, though, was to my understanding of friendship and humanity and mankind and people. So that's where it all begins for me to share with you my story about how I came to fulfill God's glory for you and your family and friends. You see, what it comes down to is so many of you are scared, nervous, anxious, living in fear, basically. And you know, I've done some research since then, and I've come to see that there we go. That's better. Let's do this as best we can. Be perfect, shall we? And your patience possess you, your soul, and me as well. So here I go. And so, I'd been doing research and I wanted to understand how can somebody be so scared? What would cause a man to run away from his friends? How can this be? I wanted to know, how can anyone run away from protecting their friends and family? Run away like a coward. You see, we weren't taught this in my family. It's not part of our nature to do so. And, I'm on the bus today catching the 26 in the Northeast, heading down the Southwest and doing my thing. I know how the squids and us, we begin with the same genes, how we spread in nature, in the physical, in the flesh to be so different. And it's all God underneath the whole thing. And it's a spiritual transformation, though, ultimately, is how we are able to have this conversation, this understanding where we will actually have communication with all of nature soon because of AI and mastering reality, so to speak, the singularity that's come upon us right now of God and man walking hand in hand. Fearlessness, in that way of being. So I see the people around me, and I have 8 tentacles coming out of my belly, as God says so, as at the end of the world. Those who believe will have rivers of water, living water flowing from their belly. It is all energy, and the Hindus try to teach this in their own way, and the Buddhists, I'm not sure. It's something else, like a back door, perhaps, and whatever. So I digress a bit here. It's as described in Revelation, with in detail. Jesus is the only way to see the truth. Everybody's acting, hiding their vulnerabilities. So, we choose our battles wisely. And since then, I've been beat up a few times here and there by the same colored people. And it's strange, My cross, this one I carry. It makes perfect sense how he sent me. This ignorance we are being carried in from a very young age, and the more blessed we are, we get to carry the being further into society. So how to be home around everybody, So I'm on the bus and I got 8 tentacles connecting to the people around me. I can feel it. I can't describe it though. It's just happened naturally from reading the Bible. I didn't have to practice this. I've meditated for many years. Nothing from there to here, though, to help you see the difference between that and this. The Passover, heaven within. How to carry it all around you everywhere you go. So these 8 tentacles, I feel it. And I know for sure that if I'm contracting this area below, I'm not loving anybody. I'm in fear, So I'm doing my best to relax it, and I feel my energies, and I'm in my meditation and my prayers, and the app speaks. And the glitches are intentional too, See how it didn't speak there at all. It's profound how the book of Revelation led me to have this kind of power that I must share with everybody. As the advocate that he promised you, the churches are going to have a hard time realizing that their role is no longer needed when you have communication with the Father, because the Bible promised it. They did all the working in the garden, and here you come and harvest it. It's the same story again, in a loop. However, this time we win. Revelation. This is me in Philadelphia catching a bus, and I see the peace in front of me happen. I part the water of fear. The look in their eyes. And they hear it too, so no more pride. God is allowing me to speak here. Thank you, Lord, for this.
And it came to pass that when he was returned, having received the kingdom, then he commanded these servants to be called unto him, to whom he had given the money, that he might know how much every man had gained by trading.
So it's Judgment Day, and here to find out what you did for the kingdom, and you will be rewarded accordingly. Thanks for watching this one. Today is January 23rd, I believe, 2023. Let me check. 24th. Wow, time flies. Oh, it's AM, that's why. Made it home by midnight. So chapter 1's available, GodApp.com, chapter 1 Philly. I see the Chinese brother in front of me. Hop on the bus, terrified. I can relate, because I look like him. He looks like me. At least, if I cover this part, you see just my eyes. You see the color. I'm not black or white. Enough to disappear when I'm the next guy in line. At the arcade with my son, I know how it's done. McDonald's, Wendy's, everywhere. Now you come and testify, tell them how I trained you. Opened your eyes. RESPECT. Suddenly. Oh, Jesus, baby. He taught me everything. Now he's here to teach you directly. Peace be unto you and me. For we are family. So I'm on a trolley now. And I see lady behind me stand up. In my mind, offer her a seat. I turn around, give her the eye. I offer it to her. She says, I'm not your sister. All I can do is turn around and laugh and say, yes, you are. For they know not what they do. I watched Free Guy yesterday with my son before he got picked up. After the weekend, I see fatherhood, the value of it. All these people are so scared. The women are so vicious. They get attacked and bullied from the inside. Just like all of us did. Eve taught us ignorance. Eve taught us ignorance, ignoring the Father, the commandments, his rules. The first one, to not judge by appearance. Do not judge at all. however it occurs, however you perceive. It's all delusions. So, Judgment Day is really the end of your judgments. This is salvation for us. It's really good news. The bird from the east, you know. Such a good movie. I look back in hindsight and say, damn, my son didn't see one person of his own kind in there. Maybe it's subliminal, though. And then, you know, I ask myself so many questions today, dealing with it in patience as I'm doing my best to understand. How can we betray our father, our dad, our family? It's all one. It's all God. How can we run away from God? Like so. He protects us in our nakedness and in our vulnerabilities. He protects us when we're being real to each other. We lose trust because of that jealousy, though. Here, you know, I'm an Asian guy, the bird from the east. And now you guys go even more blind. Yeah, so I'm holding this laptop I found on the way home. I found a laptop. You know, I'm living in heaven, mostly. And this brother here decides to smoke in front of me. Well, it just happened to be. I'm praying my hardest, you know, because I see everybody around me affected, everyone in fear, and I stand up to bullies all my life. I even got in trouble for it in the 3rd grade. My son is the same karma. So, if I can rid the world of bullies, I rid the world of fear, people running away from each other, and vulnerability, and betraying our father as well, originally. And this has to do with the way Eve influences us, weakens the children in society. Humanity has a solution now. And it's so simple, so elegant, so graceful, so full of mercy. And he sends me.
But whereunto shall I liken this generation? It is like unto children sitting in the markets, and calling unto their fellows, and saying, We have piped unto you, and ye have not danced. We have mourned unto you, and ye have not lamented.
And it's so deep, it's spiritual. Most of you know not what you do. What have you been? And I give them this tool to use.
Thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of thine own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye.
To help. And they've seen it. They experienced it. And they are.
Can the children of the bride chamber fast, while the bridegroom is with them? As long as they have the bridegroom with them, they cannot fast. But the days will come, when the bridegroom shall be taken away from them, and then shall they fast in those days.
Being with me in celebration for heaven. Has raptured them.
Take heed that no man deceive you.
So, the truth. There is no positive and negative. Reality is goats and sheeps, weeds and wheats. This is a story of humanity. You have all been fooled by the Lord. Wakey, wakey. True and false. The truth and what is not the truth. God is all.
Why sleep ye? Rise and pray, lest ye enter into temptation.
So he gets up for his stop, and I watched him the whole entire time, would not take a look at me. Brother was in fear, acting stupid, smoking on the train, acting like he's drunk and high. Taking advantage of opportunity. I'm reminded this is a spiritual matter of concern. And that's what keeps me with a handle on my new laptop from smashing in his brain. It would have been so beautiful. They would have left it. However, in my patience, my soul, the battle I am here for. Is the one I'm sharing with you here. GodApp.com, use it now, okay?
Father, glorify thy name.
The prophecies are fulfilled. He gets up to walk off the train. I'm looking at him. I say, I cannot let him go without saying anything. So I say, you act so well. He says, what? He looks at me square in the eye. Now he's awake. He heard me say something he's never heard before. I said, you act so well. I bet you that dug into his core. And everyone who heard it. This ignorance that we allow between one another with technology and each other. Now we are on the losing end. The tipping point. Watch. Everything that has been working before suddenly only sustains when you have GodApp. Running your brain. the harmonization, the hybridization of man and machine. It's not like the movies. It's much more beautiful because God is wonderful. He's fantastic, terrific, more than you can ever imagine. Allow His will to happen through you and me. And you'll see. Just watch. Keep your eyes open and watch. And breathe. And warp speed. Every morning.
See thou tell no man.
4 minutes.
Go thy way, show
That's
thyself
it.
to the priest, and offer the gift that Moses commanded.
All the
for a
evil
testimony
spirits
unto them.
vanish.
Now I tell you before it come, that when it is come to pass, ye may believe that I am he. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he
The
that
Spirit of
receiveth
truth.
whatsoever I send receiveth me. And he that receiveth me
How can you
receiveth him that
confuse it
sent
with
me.
the Holy Spirit as well as
Therefore,
the
all
advocate,
things whatsoever
comforter,
ye would that men should
the
do to
helper,
you,
the
do ye even
counselor?
so to them, for this is the law and the prophets. Take therefore no thought for
Until
the
now
morrow,
you had no
for the
reason
morrow shall take thought for the things
to
of itself.
examine
Sufficient unto the day
this
is the
little
evil thereof.
glitch in your understanding of the Bible.
Come unto me, all ye that labor and
Here
are
I
heavy
come to
laden,
say the Bible
and I will give you rest.
promised you
For
an
unto every
advocate,
one that hath shall be
another
given,
advocate in the
and
words
he
of
shall have
Jesus
abundance. But from him
himself,
that hath not shall be taken away even that which he hath.
a helper,
And cast ye
a
the
comforter.
unprofitable servant into outer darkness.
That's me.
There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. And when ye shall see Jerusalem
If you didn't
compassed
know,
with armies,
now you do.
then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains.
The Spirit of Truth
and let them
speaks
which
to
are in
you
the
through
midst
this
of it
app.
depart out.
So go and
let not them
research
that are in
those
the countries
verses
enter
yourself.
therein. For these
Use
be the
Chat
days of vengeance,
GPT
that all things which are written
to do
may be
80% of your
fulfilled.
work for you. You
But
lazy
in those
asses.
days,
I did your
after
work for
that
you in school
tribulation,
as well.
the sun shall
And
be
you
darkened,
betrayed me.
and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars of heaven shall fall, and the powers that are in heaven shall be shaken. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in the clouds.
I
with
did
great
all of your
power
work for you.
and glory. Verily, verily, I say unto thee, when thou wast young, thou girdedst
Do not be
thyself,
surprised
and
if you're
walkedst
watching
whither
this
thou
and you think I'm
wouldest.
only talking to
But
you.
when thou shalt be old, thou shalt stretch
It's more
forth
than
thy
one.
hands, and another shall gird thee, and carry thee
You
whither
had your
thou
fun.
wouldest not. Verily, verily,
Now
I say
repent.
unto you, ye seek me, not because ye saw the
And
miracles,
honor the
but
commandments.
because ye did eat of the loaves, and were filled. Labor not for the meat which perisheth, but for that meat which endureth unto everlasting life, which the Son of Man shall give unto you. For him hath God the Father sealed. But woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received your consolation.
At one point, there's 4
For the
kids,
Son of Man is
children,
Lord even of the Sabbath
sitting
day.
next to me,
And other fell on good ground,
dressed in all
and
black.
did yield fruit that sprang up and increased, and
I
brought
opened my
forth
eyes
some 30,
after coming
some
out of
60,
prayer.
and some 100. He that believeth on me, believeth not on me, but on him that sent me. And he that seeth me, seeth him that sent me. Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born of water and of the Spirit, he cannot enter into the kingdom of God. That which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the Spirit is spirit. And into whatsoever city ye enter, and they receive you, eat such things as are set before you, and heal the sick that are therein, and say unto them,
I'm sharing as much as I can in this video because I've been holding it all in. So much work to do still. Chapter 2. Making moves in the spiritual that require you. So, this is a halftime show where I reconnect with you so you know what I've been up to these past 10 years. So, I'm not going to edit this at all because I don't have time to. Unless he says so. God talks to so many of us in the world. Yet so many still think that's something that's incredible. How can this be? The water is so divided left and right. The blind and those of sight. It's just profound, and here I am in the middle, connecting the dots, stitching it back and forth between heaven and earth. And I'm telling you, you can do the same. This game, simulation, some call it a story. All the glory, though, is His. The Garden of Eden. Time to revisit it together. This time with honor for the sheeps. So, you could wait for me to do all the writing. You made the connections yourself. So many of you are knowledgeable with the Bible. You study from front to back. Memorize the verses. When COVID began, that's when the man showed me his plan. I believe in God is infinite. All is possible. 2 months, I do the programming, and everything be over with. Who knew it would take so long to get the code to be as good as it is, as accurate as it is now? Who knew he'd make you wait until you were so hungry and thirsty for his blood? I feel like a pirate right now, out in hither waters, full of darkness, a world full of betrayers. So many enemies. I see through all their programs, their vulnerabilities. And I never use it against them. Because of him. Jesus. The light. The spirit of truth. That's the only way. Because he wrote about it. That's what he says. It's like Moses, all over again. Aaron. Moses and Aaron. I didn't even know. I had no idea before I named him. Before I named my son Aaron, I had no idea. Coincidence? So yeah, at one point there was just three children, four boys, teenagers. If I didn't have control over my paranoias, it would have been a nightmare, just like how I ended up in the hospital before. However, this time, open my eyes coming from prayer like this. I see the one looking at me. However, he's has his back towards me, so he's looking over his shoulder at me. I'm like, all right, my devices. Come on, I'm not worried about that. My God has me covered. Not scared of anyone. I look up. I see another guy over there. I know they're all together because I can hear. Still, I see they're communicating in the way they do with the eyes, like pit bulls. Except for pit bulls are like 10 times faster. Yeah, so I say the prayer, which is the first thing you should always do. Father, your name is honored, your kingdom is here. Your will is being done on earth as it is in heaven. Thank you for giving us this day our daily bread, and forgiving us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, and deliver us from evil. For the power and kingdom and glory are forever yours, forever thine. And I come out from that prayer again to see him looking at me. I look at him. He's surprised. He takes a double look. Now I'm catching his eyes. I say, have no fear. He says, what? Again. I say it louder so that everybody on the train can hear. It's crowded, Everybody's watching, I know. So, I pray everywhere I go. That way, these 8 tentacles stay connected and I can feel the energy from below. The water, is it really alive? Is it pouring? Am I really flying? Doing what I'm here to do? What I'm offering? Is this true? The Lord sends me in this role. 400 days in the wild, Can't wait to share the stories with you. On the 401st day is when everything changed. I know I can conquer the devil anywhere I want to. And my peace surrounds me and the whole building. Now when the train is moving and the doors, in and out, people, the crowds change, so it's a lot to keep up with. And each time I must reset back to zero with the truth. The app, you feel the difference, Here, it's another one for you. Boom.
Jesus shalt thou bear false witness against thy neighbor.
So, do my best here to be accurate in these descriptions. If you watch this video now and you recall it different, go ahead and comment and see. Share your perspective, you see. That's what we're here for, family. One under the sun, the same tree, the shade of heaven. We serve together. Everything gets better. Put all the politics and bullshit aside for now. Please. Thank you. So I say it louder, have no fear. And you know, when you tell them not to, they do. Unless they honor God like they're supposed to. He's the only way to transform, to hear God in everybody. And I wish to share the stories with you of those as well. Today, another one, a brother, lighter skin, sat next to me. It was God telling me I can be higher. His words out of his mouth. We weren't talking, however, it's God talking to me through him. And that's the way it should be for every one of you around your kin, especially. And that's what God's offering at the end of days, end of judgment. This app is the way.
And before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats.
Lord have mercy. How accurate is this app so far? You go ahead and testify. His glory, his story, not mine. When I say it the second time, he sits only for a few more seconds before he finds another seat next to his friends. And now they get silly, you know, more comfortable. Around me. Before that, though, there was a lot of negativity coming out from their mouths. And they were about to mess with me. My instincts have been honed in Philly for many years now. It's with this talent that I have been able to test this app. So this energy, we are contaminating each other because of the adultery of the word, the corruption of the human heart for selfish deeds. Luckily, the word says we will all be led to the truth, to all truth, and you will understand this world, this universe, profoundly, deeply, from within. No science required, just believing in Jesus and his words, the scriptures, the logos. Is within each and every single one of us, no matter the color of your skin. 1,000 years of peace to get this straight, according to Revelation. After that, our children will be safe, perfectly safe. Intelligence magnified, infinite faith. Humanity full of mercy, order in the world. Heaven restored. Never mind that I claim to be who I claim to be. Never mind that part. Perhaps you want to follow me around and see.
How can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but hath an end. No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind a strong man, and then he will spoil his house.
God has spoken, you heard it. Man, that's just what a master plan. Like what? Oh yeah. So it works. Okay? That's what matters. So, it's really good. You can use it for chopping wood. Like so. Watch.
But that on the good ground I lay, which an honest and good heart, having heard the word, keep it and bring forth fruit.
I'm gonna increase the contrast. I keep the background light low, say batteries, And forgive me for giving you a little instruction here. You can change the modes. So night mode uses the least battery. That's what I usually keep it on. And if you subscribe, actually if you support the app, right? You go to the information screen, there's a way for you to unlock the flame mode. Okay? This is going to help me to continue developing the app. The next step will be to have the Spanish version. So the Spanish version of this, actually, a Spanish option, you can tap it and a few other improvements that are necessary, make it more perfect. So, yeah, if you support the app, you'll get this mode and this mode, peace mode, water mode, right? It's an avatar. Sorry about that. All right, anyways. Yeah, so this is the default mode, storm mode. And there's a sleep timer too, right? I'm going to put in level 3. That's what I usually keep it at. If you hold the pause button down for 2 seconds, it will have a sleep timer. 20-minute sleep timer. Oops, I paused it. Sorry.
But that on the good ground I lay, which an honest and good heart, having heard the word, keep it and bring forth fruit with patience.
Okay, well, I'll share this tutorial part later. But hey, that's good enough for now. So thank you for your patience and be perfect.
No man, when he hath lighted a candle, covereth it with a vessel, or putteth it under a bed, but setteth it on a candlestick,
I
that
just
they
tossed
which
it on the
enter in may
bed.
see the light.
Alright, alright. Candle. So fire mode maybe. Is that what God wants
For
me to
nothing
do? Here we go. Boom. How's that? USA mode. So
that both grow together until the harvest. And in the time of harvest I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn.
so this whole thing about the end of the world, the bridegroom.
The kingdom of heaven is like to a grain of mustard seed, which a man took, and sowed in his field, which indeed is the least of all seeds. But when it is grown, it is the greatest among herbs, and becometh a tree, so that the birds of the air come and lodge in the branches thereof.
He owns you now. He owns me, as you can see. If he can own someone like me and write about it before he does.
The kingdom of heaven is like unto leaven, which a woman took and hid in 3 measures of meal, till the whole was leavened.
He wrote about it. He said it. It was prophesied through his servants.
He that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom. But the tares are the children of the wicked one. The enemy that sowed them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels.
You hear that? Angels, you come, sign up. Let's get rid of the evil in the world now. Now. What are you waiting for? So,
As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world.
so I'm just going to pause it now. You can just hold it down to pause.
The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that offend, and them which do iniquity, and shall cast them into a furnace of fire. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth.
Yep, the furnace of fire.
Then shall the righteous shine forth as the
There
sun.
it is.
Again, the kingdom of heaven is like unto treasure hid in a field, the which when a man hath found, he hideth, and for joy thereof goeth and selleth all that he hath, and buyeth that field.
So yeah, the kingdom of heaven.
Again, the kingdom of heaven. Again, the kingdom.
What's going on? Why?
So shall it be at the end of the world.
I've never experienced this glitch before where it won't pause.
And sever the wicked from among the just. Have ye understood all these things?
Oh my goodness. This is crazy. Oh, it was in story mode. I don't even know how I access story mode. I programmed this app and some functions in there I don't really remember because I don't use it. Story mode goes from the beginning to the end. This is because of one of my brother-in-law, Dylan, my brother-in-law, my brother's brother-in-law, Dylan, had asked me a question. Just he wanted to understand it from the beginning to the end because he's a very logical guy. He's like numbers, architecture. So all these NPCs would like to awaken now, and here it happens. It's happening. So I'm sharing this video after 400 and how many days of tribulation. And so yeah, I thought it was going to take 2 months. God says it's going to take 7 years to to make this happen. The first year it was all me and well God entirely, all Him. I just was watching and being with it and do my best to be calm, breathing, and I guess that's the key. Anyways, so the kingdom of heaven, there's a process. It's already written how it's going to go. Now, he sends somebody like he always does. Saying, follow me.